got a lot of news to get to. Mike Robb said he had a great meditation this morning. So that can only mean good things for this show and good things for you to come. Let's get it. Let's get going, guys, because we have 3 hours of this show today. So let's take a look at the game. A little gander here at what Week 10 is serving up. Let's go straight to the late window here. Bengals visiting the 8-0 Steelers. Should find out today if Ben officially comes off that reserve COVID list. Herbert versus Tua in a rookie quarterback showdown. We also got Bills and Cardinals, the only two teams that have beat the Seahawks this year. And speaking of Seattle, they'll face the Rams, a huge division game there. The Rams coming off the bye. That's where we start our walkthrough, presented by Uber Eats. So the Seahawks, they're trying to bounce back after their second loss of the year. Russell Wilson looking a little off lately. He leads the league in giveaways over the last 3 weeks with 7 of them. And tomorrow he'll face the Rams' second-ranked scoring defense. Mike Robb, what's the matchup you want to see in this game?
Oh, get your popcorn ready, guys. I'm looking for that Jalen Ramsey matchup with DK Metcalf. Hopefully, DC Brandon Staley allows Jalen Ramsey to travel with DK Metcalf because DK Metcalf is balling right now. If you want an explosive play in the National Football League, find DK Metcalf, find Russell Wilson. I expect them to try to go downfield early and often against a tough Los Angeles Rams defense. So that's the matchup I'm going to be looking at, Colleen.
And we're going to be talking more about that matchup coming up in the show. Also this one, Bills at Cardinals. Josh Allen and Kyler Murray right now tied for 3rd in total touchdowns this season. Buffalo's won 3 straight, currently the 3 seed in the AFC, while Arizona still repping that top total offense. D-Hall, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for this? Where's the meter right now?
Oh, my goodness, Colleen, it's 10. 10. I sound like Billy Bob on Varsity Blues. 10. Because I tell you what, man, when you got Josh Allen and Kyler Murray on the football field, excitement happens, man. These are 2 dudes who, even in stature, one's a big, powerful quarterback who can throw it all over the yard. One's a little short guy who makes plays with his legs and his arms. I mean, it's going to be excitement. You talking about popcorn? Get your popcorn for this one because these 2 guys are coming to play football, man, and I can't wait to watch it.
I can't wait to see how that Bills defense defends Kyler Murray, too. And speaking of young, fun quarterbacks, Chargers at Dolphins. The rookie quarterbacks, they're going to get all the attention here. Herbert, the number 6 pick, Tua, the 5th. Both guys have impressed since taking over as starters, each with passer ratings over 100. Jeezy, talk to me about the rooks here.
Yeah, Colleen, this was going into this draft, we figured Herbert and Tua to these teams, but in which order? And now that you look back on it, could it have happened any more perfectly? Justin Herbert gets to stay on the left coast. That's where he likes to be. He really loves his offensive coordinator, Shane Steichen, and the start that they've gotten off to. Meanwhile, Tua just seems like the perfect fit for Miami and the way that this team is going right now. This is a game that we were looking forward to even before Tua was named the starter. We said if he gets into the lineup, these 2 are going to have a showdown, and we can't wait to watch it. Well, it's finally here, and both guys off to tremendous starts. We'll see who gets the upper hand on Sunday.
And we're going to pick which quarterback of the 3 rookies right now, Herbert, Tua, Burrow, that we would like if we were starting a franchise. That's coming up in the show. But finally, let's get to Bengals Steelers. This is an interesting game for multiple reasons here. We're waiting for the big news. We should find out, as I said earlier today, if Ben Roethlisberger will be available tomorrow versus the Bengals. They're preparing for him to be out there. He spent the week on the COVID list after he and 3 teammates were deemed to have high-risk, close contact with Vance McDonald, who tested positive. Now, if they test negative today, they'll be eligible to come back to work. Our Aditi Kingabwala has more.
Mike Tomlin said Friday the week has gone as planned, and it is fully his expectation that Ben Roethlisberger and linebacker Vince Williams will both be back on the practice field Saturday. Both players had to spend the week on the COVID reserve list because of close contact with tight end Vance McDonald, who did test positive. But both players had negative tests all week, and Tomlin said he feels extremely confident that both are veteran enough they don't actually need practice to be able to play against the Bengals. Now, Tomlin will have a bit of an extended walkthrough Saturday just to give Roethlisberger a little bit more time with his teammates. But Roethlisberger has zoomed in. He's also done rehab with his knees, and And I will remind all of you, in 2015, I covered a game in which Roethlisberger was on the bench, Landry Jones started, got hurt, and Roethlisberger came off the bench to throw for nearly 400 yards on the Cleveland Browns. No concerns in Pittsburgh in terms of Roethlisberger's readiness.
Okay, there are some concerns, though, after watching last week against the Cowboys. Now, here's a look at the Steelers' offensive numbers. They haven't been exactly lights out with Ben. The Steelers' offense has been on the struggle bus since week 6. Sure, they're top 10 in points, but look at the other numbers here. Bottom 5 in total yards, rushing yards, and big plays. Also, you know, just watch their games and you'll see it too. Last week they needed a fourth quarter comeback to beat the 2-7 Cowboys. Mike Robb, let's talk about this here. What's your biggest concern with this Pittsburgh team?
I don't have that much concern with this Pittsburgh team. I think last week when they played the Dallas Cowboys, that was something like they were kind of playing down to their competition, and the game came to be close at the end. The Pittsburgh Steelers are undefeated. Okay, and I think they may be the most well-rounded team in the National Football League, and I think Mike Tomlin, he's done a phenomenal job. Has there been a better coach over the last 24 NFL regular season games? I mean, he had to deal with Ben Roethlisberger not being there last year, 2 Hall of Fame players exiting the locker room, and Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown, and questioning Ben Roethlisberger's leadership, and he handled all of that, had 2 other quarterbacks come in and managed to go 8-8. I think Mike Tomlin should always be considered for Coach of the Year. Never had a losing record. I mean, come on, man. I don't have any concern with this team. This team will be ready this week, whether Ben Roethlisberger is cleared to play or not. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are well on their way.
Yeah, and, you know, a lot of that has to do with Rob. You mentioned Mike Tomlin. You know, it's that veteran team. And you know, when you talk about an area of concern, I don't really see one either for this Pittsburgh team, man. Are they the best football team in the National Football League? I don't think so. But they are very reliable. They are consistent, and that's what you need in the National Football League. You need consistency. Any team can go out there, as you saw last week, and get up for one game. That's what Dallas did. They got up for one game, but Dallas is not the kind of football team that the Steelers are. You heard Mike Tomlin say, or you actually heard a Didi reference Mike Tomlin say that this is the Bengals. We should beat this football team just with how dominant our defense can be. So I don't have many concerns at all either for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay, so all of us are pretty much so far on the same page. You really have to nitpick to find a weakness, find a flaw with an 8-0 team. But for me, it's just the way that these games are coming down to the wire. They really shouldn't be. What I want to see is them put together a consistent game for all 4 quarters. 3 of the past games for them have come down to the final possession. 7 of their 8 games, of those 8 wins, it was in question in the 4th quarter. They're 5-0 in games decided by 8 or fewer points. So they need to prove that they can win handedly, especially as the stakes get higher as the season goes on. I mean, Jeezy, last week against the Cowboys, that 4th and 1 call to hand off to James Conner, that gave the Cowboys some time to make a comeback. If that was a better team, they could have done it.
It's interesting to hear you folks say that you don't have a high level of concern about the Steelers, because to be frank, and regular viewers of the show know this, we had this conversation last week, and I said, Pittsburgh Steelers, you are beautiful from head to toe, inside and out, and all that stuff. And Mike Robb said, but what if they play the Chiefs? And I said, no, I have no concerns. This is the perfect team. And I watched the game on Sunday. They miss an extra point. Extra point gets blocked after that. Then they had a roughness penalty against Dallas, so they had a short kickoff, so they tried one of those little short pooch type kicks to try to pin Dallas deep, and Dallas returns it deep into Pittsburgh territory. And so what did I do? I tweeted this at Mike Robb, and I said, Mike Robb, I would like another crack at this, and change my answer. Special teams. Now I have concerns about special teams. Frankly, that was a moment of weakness, Steelers. I apologize. Your special teams are actually pretty good. There was a 59-yard field goal in that game as well. So that was just me in the heat of the moment, losing it a little bit. I still believe in this team. I still think that despite some of the numbers in the eye test, I like what they have, and I think they are complete. Now, I will say this. You're starting to get to the back end of an undefeated record here, That's when it starts to get a little tough. Everybody's gunning for you, and it's tough to maintain that level of intensity week in and week out. So you're going to start to get to the point where people are going to say, maybe it'd be better if the Steelers snuck a loss in there, right? Because it's really hard to maintain an undefeated record. So maybe that's the only slight little concern, I'd say, as they get deeper into their schedule.
We're really
Man, look, I understand all you guys. I understand you guys' concern, but they still winning the games. They're still winning the games. That's what we play to win the games, right? They're still winning the games. And no, Jeezy, I get what you're saying, that maybe on the outside looking in, maybe they want to lose a game to get some stuff out of the way before they get to the playoffs. No, win every game, win every quarter, win every snap, win everything. That's how you got to play in this league.
That's what happens when you have an 8-0 team and we're tasked with finding a flaw in them. It's very difficult. I think we managed to do it a little bit, but hey, they got Cincy this week. We'll see if they can get to 9-0, those Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, we're also talking about this. What the football happened to Tom Brady and the Bucs last week? The trouble in Tampa and why more than one TB is struggling. Next, plus Dalvin Cook's leading the league in rushing yards per game and touchdowns on a team flying under the radar. While the